Kanye and pastors. That's what we're going to be talking about for today. So wanted to start off with this. So a while back, remember when Kanye came out with that gospel album, he said it was all like enlightened with God and loves Jesus and all that stuff, and came out with that big old gospel album that everyone was going crazy for. Who was the pastor, the big name pastor that invited him up to the stage?
Joel Osteen.
Mr. Joel Osteen did.
Should we roast him?
Joel Osteen? I mean, we can roast anybody we want in this podcast, so everyone's roastable. We are the irreverent. We're just irreverent here. Okay,
sponsored?
We love Jesus, but we're very irreverent.
We are not.
So if we don't make it into heaven, that'll be the reason why.
Related to any church? Yeah, probably not.
Because we roasted so many people.
Well,
anyway, so I mean, what did you think of that? Do you think that was a good move for Joel Osteen to do that as a pastor, not you as a pastor?
is it pastor?
Maybe one day you're gonna be a pastor.
And I'll call Kanye West up on the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
To boost my ego or to boost my congregation? I don't know. I don't care.
Good PR move, right?
I guess. I'm not an expert in anything. Yes.
Good move as a pastor for him to do that? Just call him up on stage?
This 23-year-old kid with no life experience is about to tell you how to live your life correctly. Let me tell you. Joel Osteen, you have been living longer than me, but you're a fool. Oh, man.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? You thought that was a good move? You young guns, it's like, oh my gosh, Joel Osteen invited Kanye. I'm going to that church.
I was actually
Is that what you were thinking?
No, I was not thinking
wow, Kanye, that's so cool. Joel Osteen is the man.
Oh, man.
I'm getting saved
Me and
right
Joel.
now.
I literally roast Joel Osteen on like a daily basis, so definitely not. And I roast him in private, but I roast him nonetheless.
Okay, so...
So, no, that was not my first thought. Oh my God, it's Kanye! No, that I definitely didn't think that. I didn't even know who Kanye was until he actually...
Yeah, actually, same.
Yeah, I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
I heard of him, but I didn't really...
Do you remember when that came out? I don't know. Were you part of the staff when he did that?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so...
it was only like a few years ago.
Yeah, so everyone didn't really know how to pronounce his name. They were going like Kane.
Yeah.
Did you just see Kane West?
Like, what?
Kane? He came out with the album Kane.
Kanye?
It's like, who's Kane?
Kanye West.
Now given, I like
They're
to
all
do
white,
my
by the way.
research, and I
They're
like
all
to hear
white.
how people, I like how to, oh my gosh, I can't talk. I like to hear how to pronounce people's names. So Kanye. The one that I didn't get when people were referring to him as Ye.
Oh, yeah.
Or Yay.
Well, because he refers to himself as that. And
So
like,
I didn't get that part, but I did get the Kanye part. So kudos to me. I'm a very sheltered youth pastor here.
And I am just very sheltered. I'm not a youth pastor.
I
or
listen
anything.
to Ron Canoli, okay,
I don't know
guys?
who that is. I'm not that
I'm
old.
sure you don't.
I don't.
You know Paul Wilbur, though.
I do know Paul Wilbur. And Kanye West, surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, back on track.
What if they did a collab?
So was that a good move?
A Paul Wilbur and Kanye West collab?
That would actually be pretty epic. I feel like that would be epic.
Stretch my hands to
You get that kind of Jewish style of music going on. You got Kanye's, hip hop style going on.
That'd be
and you kind of mix it together.
very weird.
I feel like that would be really cool. You get those Orthodox Jewish people to chant whatever it is that they're reading out of the Old Testament.
Jesus! They're definitely not chanting Jesus' name.
Not chanting Jesus.
They're definitely not. If you didn't know, Jews hate Jesus.
I don't know about hate.
No, I'm pretty sure they hate him.
I don't know about hate.
I'm pretty sure they hate him. Just like Muslims hate Jews.
Okay, so anyway,
You should probably
going
cut
back.
that part out.
Yeah, let's come back now.
Okay.
Kanye, Joel Osteen, good move for a pastor to take on a young Christian and put him up in front of everyone. Really?
No.
Why not?
Because no. I think it's kind of dumb that we all instantly equate any celebrity that has converted to Christianity to Paul. I think it's kind of dumb. yeah, Paul was killing Christians and Kanye was a sinner, but so were we all. Like, we're all sinners, and if we convert to Christ, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Like,
man, that was a good analogy. Like, yeah, people were comparing like Kanye to Paul, right?
yeah,
But Paul, in the beginning, he was already a scholar.
right.
He was like a legit scholar. Like, he memorized the whole Old Testament, so
Yeah.
he knew his stuff.
That's true. That's why he was killing Christians, like,
Right.
Because he already knew, like, okay, this is the Jewish law. Let's obey it. And I hate Christians for disobeying it. We're gonna kill them,
Right,
which is
right.
a very extreme place to go. But yeah, no, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to compare Kanye or Justin Bieber or any of these people and like put them up on a platform just because they can sing or just because they can, produce music or they're famous or something.
Yeah, or they have like some other godly wisdom that we other poor people don't have.
And it's like, wait,
Not
that doesn't make
famous
sense.
people don't have.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. And it's weird. It's really weird
Yeah.
that we do that.
Yeah, the first time when I saw him go up on stage with Joel Osteen, my first impression was like, "Oh man, you shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, probably not.
Like the first time a person gets saved, they need discipleship, they need training, they need to be in the Word, they need to get those basic Bible doctrines down before they're put in front of like thousands of people to talk theology.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm 23. I've grown up in the church my entire life. Literally, my entire life has been in the church, and I still have so much to learn.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot to learn before
Yeah.
I could ever teach anyone who's like older than me or like even at the same level as me. To be able to teach someone, I feel like I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
Maybe younger kids, like younger guys or something like that, I could probably be like, hey, like this is probably what this means. But if they had questions on different life things, I'd be like, hey, go talk to Aaron. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a difference between life experience and then God experience,
Yeah,
right?
sorry. And I mean that too. But
Yeah, like just because you didn't do drugs doesn't mean you can't say, "Hey, drugs are bad." For
yeah,
you.
right, for sure. Yeah, no,
You can't do that.
don't have sex before marriage.
right.
No, you didn't experience that, so therefore it's okay. No, that's not okay.
Go experience life.
Yeah,
Get as much experience as you can, before you become an old fuddy dud
exactly.
like Pastor Aaron.
Yeah, it's okay. Do a few drugs, sleep around a bit. That's it. Just do that.
Sponsored by Effecta.
Oh, it's no longer a brand, so don't worry about it. It is sponsored.
Okay, so yeah, that was actually my first impression when I saw Kanye up there, that he really needed mentorship, and I think that's actually the difference with Justin Bieber. From what I understand, his mentor or pastor is Judah Smith.
Yeah.
And so, and I think I can see it in the way he presents himself. I can see it in the way he talks. There's like a big change in how he was acting from when he met Christ to up to now. I feel like he's just like he's a mature guy.
To a degree.
Yeah.
I think I've seen videos of him after he was saved just being kind of a jerk. But
Oh no, yeah, for sure. But I'm talking about like now. Like, it's been how many years now since he got saved?
not necessarily immediately after he's been saved, but like, even currently, there's still moments where he's just a jerk. But I'm not saying that people aren't going to be jerks after they're saved. Or
Yeah,
they're not going to be.
perfect,
People are
yeah.
still going to be jerks and stuff like that. But I think that, yeah, again, we put people on pedestals, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Because same thing with Jeremy Foster last week. It's like we turn everyone into a celebrity just because they have influence or they're on a show or something like that, or they've made a lot of money. We quantify that as success, and so we want to be like these people, and so we put them up on a pedestal, and then we're like, oh, okay, this is what success looks like, and then all of a sudden their failure, like they fail at something, and it's like, oh man, that's not what success looks like, and so therefore that person is no longer valid as who they are. And it's like that's not true, and I think that's a danger of having people like Kanye or Justin Bieber up on stage, and kind of reflecting Christianity. It becomes a like an idea of like who is more popular than who, and then you end up worshiping the people rather than worshiping God. And I think that can get very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think it does get very dangerous.
Yeah, it gets very dangerous when you do that.
Because I know people who went to Joel Osteen's church when Kanye was when Kanye was talking there, they were going just to see Kanye,
Mm,
and it's like that's not good.
yeah.
It's not about Kanye. It's not or it's not about Justin Bieber. It's not about any celebrity. You know, even if Elon Musk got saved when he was doing the podcast with what's her name?
The Babylon.
Yeah, the Babylon
yeah.
Bee. Even if he got saved in that moment, and everyone was like cheering for him and stuff like that would still not be what we should be focused on.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. You wouldn't go to Elon Musk and go, tell me all about God.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to him
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Like I'm not saying he's not smart, but again, like in terms of theology and stuff, yeah, he's kind of dumb. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Same thing with Kanye. Like he's dumb. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Me, I'm kind of dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about fully.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like it kind of circles back to what we were talking about in last week's podcast when we were saying that Jeremy Foster didn't have that accountability. And I think pastors, when they fall into sin, don't have that accountability. And so I think, especially in regards to new believers, they need to have the accountability and the humility to submit under a spiritual authority, someone who, they've given authority to call them out on their crap.
Right.
Instead of saying, no, you can't call me out on my crap because I'm rich.
Yeah, really.
Pretty much.
Really.
I came out with all these albums. People love me. You don't have a right to tell me anything.
Yeah.
And so maybe it is harder for, I guess, richer people to submit themselves to someone who they don't see that is on their level, monetarily speaking.
Or success-driven people.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe it is tough. So, yeah, there's definitely a level of humility there because I feel like rich people tend to have this weird idea that they know more stuff than everyone else who is not rich. And they think all their opinions are more valuable in regards to the world than it is to a regular philosopher somewhere or a regular pastor or something. Like they know more about whatever topic that there is to know.
I think if that's coming from anywhere, I don't necessarily know if it's because they're wealthier than people, but I think it's more so coming from the fact that they have more influence than people. So they think that they...
Oh, yeah, their influence reach.
Because they're constantly pushing their own... Everything that they're doing, they're constantly pushing it, whether it's their own businesses, whether it's their own thoughts. And it's like, in order to have a voice, you have to kind of push other people out of the way. And so... And you kind of have to look down on other people's like opinions and ideas in order for people to listen to you. In our society, not necessarily saying that's true or it's good,
right.
but you have to kind of do that as in our society in order to have a voice, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a level of pride there because, you can talk to them, not saying that they're not smart people in regards to business, in regards to money, not saying that they're not smart in that regards, but in regards to theology, in regards to morality, in regards to all those metaphysical things, they know about as much as their average person,
right.
Especially if they're, let's say, atheist or agnostic or, I don't know, Buddhist.
Yeah, I've kind of had to come to that realization too. And it's been hard because it's like I want to learn all these different things and I want to have wisdom like Elon Musk, for example. I want to like know what he knows, but you kind of have to just realize that he's just a human being. And he's not anyone supernatural or anything like that.
Right.
But I think a lot
He's
of
just
times
really smart in regards to what he did.
And I think a lot of people take celebrities in general, not even just Christian celebrities, but they take celebrities in general to be these like superpowers or like these great people. And it's like this is kind of why our society is the way that it is. Like why we're so greedy, why we're so desperate for attention.
Yeah.
Is because we think that if we have what they have, then we'll be someone like them. We'll be great.
Right.
And it's like that's not necessarily true. They're just people just as much as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have success, they have money, they have things that we want.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that they became some supernatural person after having those things.
Yeah, all of a sudden they got supernatural knowledge and wisdom and everything.
Right. They built like all that stuff came from them just being the people that they are. So it's not necessarily that they became wealthy first and then had all this knowledge. It took them time to get to where they were.
Yeah. They built up to it.
Yeah.
They had smarts, connections, doors opened, opportunities.
Right.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So bad move on Joel Osteen's part.
Yeah.
Put Kanye up there.
For sure.
Yeah, so I think it was definitely a selfishly motivated. It was just selfish
Yeah,
to put him up there. Like, for sure, he was trying to get, I don't know, brownie points with the world.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Joel Osteen or Kanye?
Joel Osteen.
I would say both of them were, because even in watching like, what are his new gospel stuff that he does, like the new songs that he does.
No, I haven't listened to them.
Yeah. I haven't listened to them either. I mean, I've listened to like a few of the first album, but when he like brings people, what is it called? Sunday service, right?
Oh yeah.
He brings people. I don't know. Like, it feels so weird. It's like, why are you? It's not to say that you can't worship God. It's not to say that you can't create music that worships God after you've been saved. But it's like, you're this brand new baby Christian, and everyone is flocking to his Sunday services. Like, oh my gosh, like Kanye is like leading us in worship. This is so great. And it's like, this guy literally was saved just a few days ago. Like, why are you? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Like, it really doesn't make sense. And everyone will like condone it, like, or they'll condone it by saying like, well, he's like Paul. Like, we just need to follow him and trust that God is good. And it's like, yeah, okay. It doesn't mean that Paul still didn't kill people, you know?
Yeah.
Paul still did.
Right. Right.
And unless Kanye has like some revelation that Paul had, we shouldn't be following him like he's Paul.
Oh, definitely not.
You know, but people do it.
Yeah. Just recently, him and Kim Kardashian got a divorce.
Yeah.
And so he already has a new girl. I can't remember her name. And Kardashian's already moved on to, what's the guy's name from SNL? Pete something.
Oh, Pete Davidson?
Yeah, Pete Davidson. There we go. Yeah, so they're already dating. So yeah, I think it's immature or selfish of pastors to do that.
Yeah.
To use a baby Christian just because of the clout that they have and put them in front of everyone just so that they can get more clout. Like, yeah, I had Kanye at my church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Justin Bieber. Yeah, we spoke like we're the best buds. I hate all that fake stuff. Are we preaching the gospel? That's the question. Are we actually reaching people?
Yeah.
Are we helping people? Are we serving people? I don't think how big your church is or, how much clout you have with the media. I don't think that all matters. Like, what matters is, what are you going to do when you go home?
Yeah.
Are you loving your family? Are you serving your community? Are you helping people? Are you preaching the word? Are you actually being a light? And just to build your church to get your numbers up and use a baby Christian, is a bad move.
Yeah.
That was bad.
I think a lot of this is driven from people wanting to change society, like especially in my generation. Everyone wants to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to change the world. By the way, I have an Effecta shirt that says "Change the World" on the back of it. I have 69 in my. This is actually not even made up. I have 69 shirts in a box, and it wasn't specifically for any bad reasons. I didn't pick that number. I took one of the shirts out. I had 70.
You know what? My mind did not go there.
My mind went there, and I knew people were watching. Were like,
"Oh my gosh,
69 shirts. Why did he pick that?" Okay. I had 70. I took one. It became 69. All right. That's how you add and subtract in this world. Anyways, 69 shirts that say "Change Culture" on them. I need to sell them. I'm getting rid of them because this Effecta brand is ending. So please buy them. And I know I'm about to talk about, I'm about to bash this idea of changing culture. Well, I actually have the word change culture, not change the world. So it's different. Anyways, changing culture is different than changing the world.
Yeah.
But you can change the world through changing. Anyways, okay. All right. So basically, I think my generation really wants to change the world, but I think they have it confused.
Mm-hmm.
They because I've heard this phrase constantly. Even in me speaking, I've said this before to myself, that I want to change the world. And I think our generation has it mixed up. That the idea of changing the world means that you have to be wealthy and successful and famous in order to do that. And if you're not driving a Lamborghini, and if you don't have the most beautiful wife on the planet, and if you don't have the most fame, and everyone is chanting your name, then you can't change the world. And I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think there was a time when you had asked me to preach on a Wednesday night, and I did. And I gave my time to some of the other youth leaders.
Oh, yeah.
And so they all got to speak, and everything that we had said had lined up perfectly. We didn't prepare beforehand or anything with each other, which was probably a bad idea, but we did it, and it worked out really well because everything went in accordance with one another. And I was like, wow, that's crazy how the Holy Spirit did that. And then you had asked another one of the youth leaders to preach the next week, and I was very, very prideful and jealous, and I was like, nope, I want him to give some of his time to the rest of us so that we can all speak and then see God move again. And I kept hearing in the back of my mind, like I kept hearing God's voice be like, Shane, this is not where I want you right now. I don't want you on the stage right now. I don't want you there. And I was like, fine, God, I won't be on the stage. And I was like in the back, just kind of moping around. And I was really, really upset with the person who was speaking up there. But I love that guy. Nobody needs to know. I do love him a lot. But I was just jealous and I was prideful. And one of our youth starts breaking down in the middle of service. And everyone looks at me because, I'm the oldest and I got to take care of everybody here. Yeah. I was like, all right. And everyone looks at me and is like, hey, can you go talk to this kid? And I was like, okay. And then I went and talked to this kid, and I, he was really just pouring out his heart. He's like, man, Shane, like everything is like falling apart. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And God was like, see, if you were on the stage in that moment, the impact that you would have had would not be there. And I was like, okay, God, I'm sorry for the way that I acted. Because, and I think I told you this recently.
Yeah.
But I said waiting on, if you wait on God, those who wait on God will never be disappointed. And I think that's actually in the Bible too. I think it's in Jeremiah 43.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. We love the Bible. If you didn't know.
We do. But in Jeremiah 43, I think it says, those who wait on the Lord will never be disappointed. And I think a lot of times our generation is really wanting to just have all the things of this world, right? But what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Our focus should be on waiting on God's timing. And something that my dad told me one time was, he said that the number one thing that God requires of us is obedience. And I think that hits me the deepest, because I think, sometimes the things that I want require disobedience in order to get them. And that's not what God wants of me. No matter the cost of obedience, we are still required to obey, even though it might be painful to obey.
Yeah.
And so, I think that our culture this is why I have the shirt that says change culture, because our culture needs to change in the idea that famous people and celebrities are not God. They are not. Success is not God. Having a lot of money is not God. Those things are good. It's fun to have those things, but it's not God. And when I get to that level, I don't know if I'll be saying something different. I'll be like, it's definitely God. I love it. Screw everybody else.
God loves me more.
Yeah, you're all punks. But no, I think that's basically my thoughts.
That's cool. Well, I think that's a good note to end on. We actually got to end the podcast now.
He's got to pick up his child.
But yeah, this went all over the place. I got to pick up my kid.
Yeah, he's gonna leave.
That's how we're doing this, because I'm like a man
he's a
here.
Bad dad.
I'm a man child.
He's always late to pick up his children.
We'll see you guys later. Next time on Tea Talks, we'll be
have
discussing
another.
Yeah, maybe we'll have another person.
Possibly.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Deuces,
Love you guys.